Hey, 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 beautiful heart, step right up. The eclipse carnival is alive. The rides are wild and the lessons run deep. Your cells are listening, your soul's ready to ride. So let's tap in, learn, listen, and shift as the magic within unfolds. Whew. All right, guys, I'm back. Yesterday when I did the energy forecast on it being a red flag day and mentioning that you could be your own red flag, didn't realize at the time of that recording how true and accurate that was going to be for me. Um, I can definitely say yesterday was very intense energy. Normally, every day, I'm like an octopus on ice skates whose hair's on fire while juggling Molotov cocktails and somehow carrying a fire hose to put out fires. That's the norm. Um, But as we've been talking about this eclipse energy, or even going into the fall, back in the spring, I talked about how the summer was going to be a bit intense, and it would like build up as we started to come into eclipse season. Well, beginning of September, we kicked off with the lunar eclipse in Pisces. And I think many are now realizing just how intense and life changing that eclipse was. And I think people may have a misunderstanding that, oh, okay, here comes eclipse energy. And, whether it's the 3 days before the eclipse, 3 days after, that's when the bulk of the transformations happen. And if it does for you, that's great. Again, there's no right or wrong, but one of my superpowers is pattern recognition. And the pattern that I've seen over decades of doing this is these type of eclipses and cosmic energy that we're under in 2025 is so intense and life changing, not just on an individual level, but a global level as well. Um, that we go through the energy, the height of the energy, wherever the planets are, whatever they're doing. But especially with eclipse energy, that transformation unfolds. Eclipse energy is a 6 month time frame. So what started September 7th really won't come to an end or close out for about 6 months. So we had that intense lunar eclipse in Pisces, all about emotions, hidden aspects that we haven't looked at. It's been pushing up a lot of things to the surface. Um, a lunar eclipse in Pisces, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat that shit. That is straight up shadow work. Yeah. Then you got Mercury. Mercury, I'll talk about Mercury in a little bit because that's relevant for today. But Mercury is also another planet I associate with shadow work. Now, I know some people cringe at shadow work. I don't cringe at it. I don't see it as a negative. Is it intense? Is it emotional and painful on so many levels? Absolutely. Not going to lie to you. It is. But the shadow work is where we store the shadow. It's not a dark entity. It's not evil or anything like that. It's just shadow because it's hidden. You can't see it until you turn the light on. And then, as you know, if you turn the light on, the shadow goes away. It's metaphysically the same principle. The shadow is the parts of us that we repress, we push down, we don't like, we don't want to look at. That's all it is. And it is our responsibility to make peace with that shadow aspect. So, another way of looking at this intense eclipse season is it is going to bring up everything that you've been trying to hide or not look at. And it's going to get more and more intense until you look at it. Now, this doesn't mean it's one certain thing. Now, again, it could be for you, but for me, that is not the case. It's one area is really heightened or highlighted, but you get, while you're in this amusement park of eclipses or shadow, you will visit the different areas of things that you've already looked at or worked through. As I teach that we are a multi-body system. There's the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, the spiritual body, and those are the four I really that I focus on. There are more to it, but let's just deal with what we already have, right? This adventure park eclipse season is really bringing things up at a cellular level. So you may have faced some of these things. You may have been working on some of these things. But if it hasn't fully been cleared at the cellular level, these things will come up. So remind yourself as they're coming up that, oh, okay, it's for me to look at. Do I still believe that? So how has that been working out for me? You guys know I've said that I would start being more vulnerable and sharing more about my story and my life and my walk and how I go through things. Those of you who have been with me from like 2017, you witnessed this in 2020 through 2021. I really started to share. And then I just, made a different commitment, another phase of my life that I manifested and needed to do. So I had come off social media and really focused over here because it's what I needed to do, always knowing I would come back to my passion, what I love, what I'm here to do, which is help you guys understand energy, understand yourself, and how to go through this journey of self-mastery and uncover all of the limiting beliefs and the stories and the beliefs that you've had and create new ones, providing that safe space, a place of understanding where you can come and share, because this journey does not make sense to monkey mind, and it's not supposed to. So anyways, this energy, for example, like yesterday, I talked about being a red flag. On a daily basis, I deal with a lot of things. Things come in hot and heavy, have to figure out a lot of different tech issues, tech that, maybe I don't know or whatever, but I got to kind of figure it out, right? So amongst that and all these different things, and remember I said Mercury's at play. Mercury rules technology and communication. So we know already on tap, communication's an issue. Technology, I don't know about for you guys, but over here in my world, holy moly, something's going down. If it's not one thing, it's two things, and then you get the two things up and then two more come down. It's like a tilt-a-whirl. ride. This week hasn't really felt like the tilt-a-whirl. This week has been intense with energy and situations, and let me know if this is true for you, that have had me really looking at the choices, the things that I'm doing on a daily basis, and asking the question, is this in alignment with who I'm becoming? Because we know that the people that we we're not those people today. We are going through a very deep transformation. And I know that I'm in the middle of this transformation. And I know how I want to feel on a daily basis and what I want to do. And the feeling is the most important thing. And feeling, as I've been telling you guys, feeling happy, joyful, fun, and creative. That's what soul is calling for, because that's our natural, authentic place. We came here, we're in these human bodies to express that, to show that, but we first have to do it in our life. And make no mistake about it, people are watching. Even if you think they're not, they are. So back to yesterday's energy, there was so much that came in that really was an opportunity to look at ourselves and how we're responding to things that are outside of our control. Are we falling into the hook or the trap? You know, are we, to put it in the metaphor of an amusement park, you know, we looked at the sign, okay, we're tall enough to ride this ride, let's get in line. And, you know, we're getting on the ride. Now we're strapped into the ride. The ride's taken off. You cannot unbuckle yourself and get off the ride. You just have to go through the ride. This is what this energy is like. And going through this ride, your thoughts and feelings while you're on this metaphorical ride really are going to kind of dictate how it goes for you. So there is that shape-shifting type of energy in the air, not from a negative perspective, but more of a shape-shifting, kind of like a chameleon. Hold on one second. I got Kumara here and he's getting spicy. So let me just put him back. There you go, sir. Oh, he's mad. He doesn't like early mornings. Anyways, that's a different story. I take a pause because my neurospiciness, I completely forgot where I was going with this, but I'll come back around. That's been, an interesting personal journey for me. You guys know I've been talking about neurodivergence, neurospiciness, and how I'm moving through this energy and transformation, dealing with that. And why Cal has really helped me with understanding and developing my own blueprint and tools so that the neurospiciness works for me, not against me. But I'll let you know the last couple of weeks, the neurospiciness has been at an all-time high, and trying to work through that in the middle of all these fires while on ice skates has been intense. And I'm far enough along in the journey to know, just like I tell you guys, do not hook into or hold on to any lower vibrational energy, especially if it's stuff you've already worked through. 100% it's going to come up now. It's coming up for review. Think of it as, hey, do you still believe this? And it's another opportunity to switch or make a different choice. But with this energy and what's been going on, and yesterday being that red flag energy day, it took a lot of focus and awareness for me to not let that run away with my ass, in all honesty and transparency. The urge to just say, you know what, I'm done. Nope, I'm done. I'm going in a new direction. I'm out. In other words, that urge to just kind of self implode, blow your life up, not physically, but metaphorically. Whew, boy, was it strong. I kept talking myself off the ledge. Like, nope, today's not the day you're quitting. You're not quitting today. Nope. Take a deep breath, step back. It's red flag energy. Hey, your thoughts are the red flag. This is happening for you, not to you. Like all the stuff I tell you guys. I tell you those things because I go through it myself. And I don't tell it to you so you can take it and, use it and make it your own. By all means, if that works for you, absolutely do that. But the bigger picture is sharing with you how I go through this energy or how I break down this journey. It's messy. It's ugly. It's painful. But as much as it's that, the other side, the joy, the love, the happiness, the ease, the grace, the beauty, the abundance, that is so much more real in my life now than it ever has been. And again, it's consistency and momentum. And so again, we're going to have days like yesterday. I'm just like, I'm done. But I had to stop and go, okay, is this old energy coming up? Why are you feeling this way? When really all that's going on, just take a step back, take a deep breath, make a list of all the stuff that needs your attention right now, and go down that list from, the most important or most urgent, what have you. Great plan, right? The moment I take that deep breath and just go, okay, I need to take 5 to 10 minutes to gather my thoughts, to put a plan in action so I can continue. I am not exaggerating when I say the moment I said, okay, I need a few minutes. As soon as I said that to myself, I kid you not, 11 different direct messages came in from 11 different people, all with urgent issues that needed my attention. Not only that, that's just the direct messages. Not to mention the amount of emails that came in it was about a 10 or 11 minute window that let me know if you guys can relate to this when you're going as fast as you can, or there's a lot to get done, time crunches, whatever it is. And then, you look at your inbox or look at all the messages or whatever, and it's just like, oh my God, I cannot take one more thing. I need to, get my head above water. As I'm trying to get my head above water, just more things kept coming in. And I knew I wasn't operating at my best. How did I know? How my body was feeling and the thoughts that I was having. And what was consuming me was, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't need to be doing this anymore. But at the same time, I also knew that was a lot of altered ego because I made a commitment. I made a 4-year commitment. I got 10 more months on that 4-year commitment. I don't know what's going to change. You know, I'm reading the energy, flowing with the energy. What I am committed to is my transformation, my happiness, my joy, and my purpose. It all works together. And you may not know that in that moment, but what I'm doing on a daily basis and the people that I'm doing it with, which are amazing, amazing people. And I have to remind myself, we are all doing something none of us have done before. We're all being stretched. And the opportunity to grow out of our comfort zones and create something amazing that changes an industry. You know, going back to the why am I doing that? You know, that was key. And knowing that all of it works out hand in hand. Because if I didn't make this commitment and do this with these people, I wouldn't be experiencing the growth that I am on this personal level in this way, which is helping me to come back and do this, what I love and my passion. It's amazing what things you can work out in a daily basis, even if it's not, you know, your ultimate goal. It's what you're doing right now. Right now is the bridge to your future. Embrace every day, even the days like yesterday, the red flag days, and you're the damn red flag. And you want it to be other people, but you know you can't control other people. You can't control the tech going sideways. You can't control whoever, whatever. What you can control is you, your reactions, your response, and all of that uncomfortable energy. It is there to show you where you're not honoring yourself or your truth, or you're holding on to a limiting belief that doesn't serve you anymore. I promise you, even though it's uncomfortable and exhausting, it is for your highest good. So that was really long to get to today. I can't even believe we're almost 30 minutes in. So I don't even know if you're still here with me. Obviously, you're getting something from that. You're my peeps, and I love it. So today's energy, we do have a shift. What a difference a day can make. I mean, the past 2 days definitely have been physically, mentally, and emotionally demanding. Now the flow comes in. And to look at it as that metaphorical amusement ride, you know, we got strapped into a roller coaster and we've been going straight up. And I'm just having memories of when I was younger and I did go on roller coasters, which I still didn't like, but I did it anyways. Getting strapped in and you start to take off and it's slow, but you hear the creaking, creak, 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 you know. It just for reference, anyone from the Bay Area, Cali listening, I'm hearing the Big Dipper from Santa Cruz Beach and Boardwalk. Which when I did ride it, I almost fell out of that ride. But anyhow, we have gone up that crescendo. Now we're about to, kind of go over that edge, not in a negative way, but in flow. Communication and the elevation of consciousness is still the main focus right now. And what do I mean by that? We are elevating in consciousness. We're moving out of that 3D matrix monkey mind victim mentality consciousness into more of the higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness, that one love consciousness. So the current energy that we need to be flowing in, there should be a greater ease with the words and actions flowing from you today. This energy is calling for your consideration and compassion, for you to weigh up what you want to say before you say it. Today, with this energy, it should be easier to help you with that. Mercury is really playing an influence with this communication flow. So make sure you're communicating with grace. Make sure there's balance in your thoughts, actions, and words. This eclipse doorway energy is peaking, and it's going to continue to peak as we get closer to this solar eclipse, which is only a few days away now. Don't freak out if you're all over the map in your energy, in your emotions, in your thoughts. We're still in that liminal space, that in between. That in between liminal space is so important because, as I've told you guys, your thoughts and feelings are what creates your reality. And we are going through this liminal space where it can feel like we don't know what's right side up, what's right side down. That's why I'm saying pay attention to your heart and your feelings. Monkey mind is going to be very chatty Cathy right now. That's not who you want to listen to. You want to give yourself the mercy, the grace. If you're feeling misaligned, don't take that as a negative. Take that as an opportunity to really go within and go, okay, I'm feeling misaligned. What is it that I really want? What is it that I want to experience? Because we are all on a journey of this transformation. And just like any metamorphosis a butterfly goes through or a caterpillar goes through, the caterpillar just doesn't change its outward form. No. It goes into its chrysalis or the cocoon and literally turns into goo. Goo. Let me just say that again. Goo. The caterpillar turns itself into goo. Liquid mush. Have you been feeling like you're being turned inside out? Do you feel like you're some goo at the moment? There is a purpose to the process. Through that goo phase, that's when the metamorphosis happens. It is an alchemical process. And I'm about to say something pretty controversial, but within the next few years, this truth or this knowledge will become mainstream. But that same metamorphosis gene that causes that caterpillar to go through that process, we have that same gene within us. Now, I'm not saying we turn into goo and grow wings and fly. That is not what I'm saying. I'm speaking metaphorically that metamorphosis process, that's what happens on this awakening journey. For those of you that have gone through my immersion where I walk you through this, you guys get it. You've been through it. You know how intense it is. So metaphorically, like I said, when a caterpillar goes through this and it comes out of this phase, the butterfly doesn't just all of a sudden spread its wings and fly. No, it takes a few beats. It kind of hangs there. It's got to let the wings dry. Then it unfolds the wings. It needs to get blood pumping to the wings. It needs to gain its strength. Then it takes flight. It physically mimics the energetic, metaphysical transformation that we go through when we leave the matrix and we come into 5D. When we leave the play behind, the mask that we wore, who we thought we were, and all the beliefs, and we come into our true authenticity. So go easy on yourself, my friends. Have grace, have mercy, have compassion. And yes, there are many people that you're interacting with on a day-to-day basis, however, whatever form that is, that don't know. They don't understand what's going on. They're very reactive and in fear. You are here to be that lighthouse. You're not here to move through your day in fear. When you do move through your day in fear, that's when it gets really, really uncomfortable. Outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. And each one of us are being pushed outside of our comfort zone for our highest good. Intentions are power. Set your intention for the day. Make sure you include ease and grace into that, not just for yourself, but for others. And remember, you can't have courage without fear. You're not going to have that courage until you face that fear and dismantle it. Nobody can do it for you. Only you can. Whew. All right, beautiful heart. I hope you got something out of that today. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. You are seen, you are valued, and you are loved. With Oceans of Love, I'm Dr. Danae, your mirror and your messenger. Until next time, remember, what you feel, you make real. Namaste. Bye-bye.